Do you know yourself? Done. Okay, that was another freestyle. Sometimes, I just like to start, just like to do shit, random shit sometimes, just fun. Still spontaneous. Anyway, part three. Part three of how did the movie change my life? Presence. This video will be titled Presence. Or maybe Love and Elimination. I don't know. What road should I go down? I have the idea of presence, the idea of eliminating what's false to become present. I'll do it that way. So, people, including myself, we always look at the past and say, we have traumas, we have this, we have that, baggages, bullshit holding us down. But guess what? We only have what we think we have. We don't actually have anything besides an experience. So, what I want to say to that is, you're a feather, right? Just for example, you're a feather and you think that the wind isn't blowing for you and that you have mounds of dirt on top of you. And that stops you from blowing in the wind. That's a lie. Often on my journey of healing myself, I was like, damn. I don't want to be strong in chains. I want to be strong enough. I want to be so strong that no chains could ever touch me. And then I eventually got to a point I was like, what even the fuck is healing? I'm just being real. What even is healing? I'm just telling myself, oh, I have all these things that hold me back and I need to remove them in order for me to be my free version of myself. And then it sat with me for a little bit. I was like, if everything is a mental projection, then why do I think that I need to heal? Why do I think that I have things holding me back in the first place? Why do I think that something can affect me in the first place? Why do I think that I can be anything else but me? And then it was like one realization after another. It was like, well, I can't really be anything else but me, But it's like different veils over your eyes. So it's like, how do I say this? How do I say? Okay, so they have a glass here, right? It's a glass. Glass is translucent, which means I see the world. This glass is particularly dirty. Okay, that could have to be the example. This glass is dirty, right? If I look through this glass, I see a bit of the camera. I see what's in front of me a little bit. I see the picture. I see the outline. I see, the outline of the picture a little bit. I see the world. Kind of foggy. But I think that that's the whole picture. Then maybe somebody could say something, or I may have a realization or a remembrance of something within myself. And somebody cleans the glass. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The glass is clean. The picture is clear now. That looks so great. I can see the world. I'm so happy. And bam, somebody breaks the glass. And I'm distraught. No, my precious glass, you have been broken. What am I ever going to do? I have looked at my life through this glass. How will I ever survive? That's basically. And then you're like, but wait, there's no glass now. There's no glass. So I see the world clearly. And stepping from a dark room into a light room. The light blinds you. We're just going from inside to outside. The light blinds your face. You're like, "Ah, the light." You know, the light hits. Your eyes start hurting. Your eyes may burn. The wind blows in your eyes. Something might fly in your eye a little bit. You're just not used to seeing without the glass. So, you had to get used to it. You're looking at the world like this. Like, why would he chill? Can't see nothing. It's so bright outside. And then eventually, hold up. Yes, alright, I was rudely interrupted by a phone call. So I put on my shit airplane mode before I do these videos. Anyway, next, what I was gonna say is that, right, you're looking around life with your eyes like this. Can't see nothing, the world bleeding in your eyes. Takes a while for your words and cones to adjust. Blah blah blah. Start seeing life at a bigger picture now, right? Then you look at life like, wow, so this could be your awakening, right? We could consider this an awakening. There's many different levels of awakening, right? First, you can awaken to, okay, this world is bullshit. All this shit is bullshit. That gets you angry, right? And then you start having a mental collapse. All your like foundations broke, right? And you're like, oh, what do I do? You start losing passion. You start feeling lazy. You start nothing lazy. You just feel tired of everything, right? So this is actually normal because you built your life on false ground. Even the Bible speaks of this. Build your life on the sand, this is on the rock, or whatever. I don't remember the verse. But yeah, so you build your life on false ground. Of course, you don't want to be in this world. We can these people. Of course, you're angry, but it's not really anger that you feel. It's more like intense emotion of like, I can't believe that I went through all of this shit. Yeah, for no reason, basically. That's basically what that is, something you navigate. Okay, what am I feeling? I just wish that shit was. I wish I saw it before. I wish I didn't have to go through all this. And you start to feel like, oh, it wasn't really necessary. But then you look at yourself and say, well, I didn't know better, so how could I have done better? And the whole world is like programmed, right? So this is like awakening. First of all, like the first stage of elimination. Is what I call it. Elimination of what's underneath you. So your very foundation, right? You stand on two legs, right? Walking through the world, doop de doop de doop de doo, doop de doop de doo. And first stage of awakening, right? You realize all this bullshit. Your foundation gets side swapped, like bang, hits on it, bam, 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 foundation down. So you're walking right now. You're not really walking. You just start the free fall. You don't even realize you're falling, right? Because the really and truly, this is how it looks like, right? How do I visualize this? So we have segments, right, for your foundation. Love starts here, bang, gone. It's pen shot, bang, 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 bang. This is where you are. So all this time, all this falling away. All this is falling away. All of this, all of this, all of this, bam. Then you realize that, and you're like, oh shit, I've fallen. You're frightened. So you have to learn to navigate that. This is where you get your wings to fly, right? So when you start like, shh, falling down, right? You get the rings to fly. Or if you don't get the rings to fly, you become strong enough to land on the ground, right? And build from there. So shit starts getting eliminated, right? Realization starts setting in. And it's important to not be stuck at a certain perception of truth, And how do you not be stuck? You just keep asking, right? Because remember, at this point, you don't know what to do. So you need guidance, right? Until you become strong enough to not become, but remember your strength of just being able to stand on your own until your presence becomes enough for you, right? Because you're so accustomed to having a story, having a narrative run your life. So you're gonna look for it. You still, even though your structure had fallen, right? You're trying to use your structure like a parachute to soften the blow, right? because all they know is the structure. So all they're gonna try to do is use the structure um, to navigate the place where the structure isn't, right? It's a completely new world. So now, right, now, the scary part is letting go of the parachute. So it's like, go in a new world, trying to experience life from a new place. You realize shit starts to get hit in your left, right? Bam! And you hit. Bam! 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 You keep getting hit, right? That shit. And then you realize, okay, so life is just a reflection of me. So you look at yourself, why do I have these energies inside of myself that allows these things to happen, We have patterns of vibrations that play out inside of ourselves, right? I I call these just call them patterns of vibrations, right? So energies, right? So let's say I have the energy of a pen inside my head, so now I attract pens into my life. Is this pen benefiting me or is it hurting me, right? You come to realize that you need none of this in the first place, just saying, right? So you have this energy thing. Okay, so I need pens in my life. I can't survive without pens, right? Everything revolves around pens. If a pen is taken away from me, I'm going to be distraught. I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to be sad. Bad things are going to happen to me, right? So you realize this pattern keeps happening. You get a pen, close the pen. You get a pen, close the pen. You get a pen, and you just watch yourself, right? Every time something happens, watch what happens. How do I feel? How do I feel about this pen? Why do I feel bad that this pen is gone? And you're just like, well, I kind of didn't really need the pen anyway, I just need, like, I don't know, I was just programmed to just learn that. And it kind of hurts your heart. You're like, wow, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just didn't know better. So you could look at the pen as like, you know what? This is where your true power comes in, right? Just look at the pen like, you know what? I accept that I relied on pens my whole life. I accept that mm, maybe I needed it at a certain point. I accept that people gave it to me and it's what I did to myself. I understand. I accept that. And I love myself regardless. So by accepting the pen as a part of your life, accepting the fact that you made a mental construct to rely on a pen, you can say, okay, start moving. I want to move now. And that's basically what it is, love and elimination. You just love yourself. The more you love yourself, the more falsities are eliminated from your life. That's more or less what it is. So like, I don't need this. I don't need that. Maybe I need this. But you just become lighter. Well, you not that you become lighter, you just remember that you are light. And what exactly can trap light? Because even if light is in a room, hold on. P dot zero. Even if light is in a room, right? Strange. It's very strange. I saw something that I didn't see before. Even if light is in a room, right? Then what's gonna happen? The room gets hot eventually, right? The heat starts to seep through the walls eventually. It's not gonna stay in the room in the form of light. It's gonna seep in the form of heat. And what surrounds it is what is passing the surroundings of the walls that are hot will feel the heat naturally. And so eventually that light is just gonna come through. And the light is so strong within you because of how bright you shine, it's just gonna fade everything away. Nothing is gonna be able to stand in your presence because you are presence. Everything is gonna fall. All that's gonna remain is your presence. All that is going to remain is your presence. Presence is all that's going to remain. You're going to have to reach a point where everything is temporary. Living here is like grasping water. Put water in your hands, it's going to flow right out. All that remains is your presence. All that you have is your presence, and you're just going to have to love it. You're just going to have to love your presence. Because the presence of you is what navigates the world. So by just loving yourself even a little bit, begin to observe what's forth. So love, observation, destruction, non-attachment, and presence. Just gonna be present. And your presence is a present to yourself. Hope that makes sense. Every morning I wake up now, I just feel inspired to just do these videos. Because I love talking about shit that I like, and I like this shit. You know, it takes nothing for me to do these videos because I love to do it. I just love being around. I'm thankful. I'm thankful that the people who watch this video can take the time to watch this video. And you know what I was supposed to say? My last two videos. Please comment on the videos. I appreciate it when you do. You know why? So I can get feedback, and if you have any questions, I would like to answer them in a future video. I would love to answer your questions. I would love to talk on them. I'd love to discuss, even if I would love to discuss it with you people in the comments. I could leave my Instagram. You can message me and we can talk. I'd love to talk to everyone. All right. I don't know what else to say except no matter what you are loved, then I love you. And I'm thankful for your presence.